The Waterman tutorials. Ladies man versus fuckboy. There's a clear difference. The thing about ladies and men, they have standards, right? They're very popular with the ladies. They're not chasing the ladies are chasing them. So that's some defining features of a ladies man. And then the difference, obviously, fuckboys are the ones chasing the chicks, and they barely have any standards or no standards at all. So for them, it's more about quantity over quality. Ladies and men care about quality over quantity. So, and like I said, they don't chase the ladies chase them. So that's the other difference. I mean, you can't hate a guy for, being popular with the ladies. If they're chasing him, right? But with that being said, the situation that you can get in with being a ladies' man is, and it also applies to being a fuckboy, is it does devalue you in a certain degree, because it's the equivalence to a chick having a high body count. So a lady with a high body count, loses her value in the eyes of guys that would have been interested in her, and being a guy who's very popular with the ladies does have a positive and negative, right? A lot of times, having a lot of ladies around you will get you the attention of the ladies, but there are the times where it won't, right? There's the times where it's a gift and a curse, as it were. It's a double-edged sword. So it's very important to understand how many ladies is too many ladies, right? So it goes with the whole body count things, right? Guys don't care if a chick, been with a couple guys. It just depends how many. After a certain number, it becomes too much for some guys. The maximum is 10. Some guys will say 20 or 30, right? So it depends, right? Every guy is a little different. On average, most guys prefer a chick with a body count 10 or less, but on average, but there's the exception, right? Some guys, care or don't care. It depends. And typically the guys who don't care about body count are the guys who don't care about the chick in the first place, which is why the body count doesn't matter, which is a typical behavior of a fuckboy. He doesn't care about body count, but a ladies man would. He would care, especially if he wants to take her serious, then he would care. But the body count's not going to it's not going to reduce her ability to be around him, to have him entertain her and whatnot, but, take her serious and whatnot, it would matter. Because, again, a ladies' man has standards. Just today, a lovely lady said I was a womanizer, and it's like, oh, okay. Didn't know you thought that I was a womanizer, okay. Then I had to go double check what womanizer, the definition for it, just to see if it's the same one that I remember. And ironically, it's a little different, because mainly most ladies tend to use the word womanizer in a negative context. Basically, it's just another way of saying fuckboy or player. So I just wanted to confirm if that's, the definition. But it's not. It's more along the lines of a ladies' man. Just a guy who just happens to be popular with the ladies, and you tend to see him with a different chick every week or every day. Just because he's outgoing and, he's where the ladies at, so of course you're going to see him with some ladies. He's very sociable when it comes to the opposite sex. That's all a womanizer really is. Same goes for, a ladies' man and a fuckboy. The only difference is a fuckboy, the reason I call him fuckboy is because very immature and sex is top priority. Relationships or getting to know the chick is not top priority. So, of course, fuckboys make guys look bad in general. A ladies' man, again, is a gentleman, more respectable. But again, it still can be perceived negatively by certain ladies. So that you gotta be careful about that. So that's why I'm not surprised if some ladies, because it's a double-edged sword, right? There's gonna be a scenario that if I don't have enough ladies, she'll start like labeling me like an incel or something. And I had a couple of chicks try to say I'm an incel, which I'm clearly not. But as soon as I point out the fact that I have ladies in my life, suddenly they go quiet all of a sudden. It's like, no more insults, no more. So that's funny sometimes, and somebody seems to be hurt. And the funny thing is the fact of being called an incel while the chick is talking to me. It's like, you do know you started this conversation with me. You started talking to me. I gave you a response. You responded back, and we're having a back and forth conversation. And then you're talking to me. I'm giving you attention, and that's the opposite of an incel. Because an incel wouldn't even get a reply, or wouldn't even get a response, wouldn't even have a chick look their way. So the fact you're talking to me is the opposite of that. And the fact that you keep talking to me just further proves that. And then of course what typically happens after a while of talking, the conversation gets sexual. So it's like, yeah, that's not what happens to incels. They're not called incels, for nothing, right? There's a reason for it. But anyway, it's just funny when projecting, because I literally had a lesbian and some other chick, trying to come at me, saying things about me that ain't true. It's like, what? None of the stuff you said describes me. None of that's true. You're ignoring what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like a certain topic or a certain situation, or I'm pointing out like, hey, that guy is a fuckboy. Yeah, he's a liar. He's clearly trying to be manipulative, and all I'm doing is just pointing out a fact, pointing out, the wrong guy to listen to, and then suddenly, getting, bombarded by ladies who want to tell me that I'm wrong about certain things, and then try to say that I'm the guy that this fuckboy is talking about. It's like, no, he's talking about himself, but he wants you to think that he's not. He's trying to trick you into. He's playing reverse psychology. He's trying to make you think that he's a man because he got money and he's popular with the ladies, aka he's a fuckboy, and he's a real man. But guys who can't get women, guys who don't have money, right? Guys who are not, very popular with the ladies, those aren't men, right? Those aren't the guys you should talk to and mess with. You should mess with me, the guy with the money, and I'm clearly good with the ladies. Yeah, because you're a fuckboy. That's the whole point. Your whole thing is trying to convince ladies that you're a good guy and they should choose you over an actual good guy, and then you just fuck them and duck them. That's the whole fuckboy playbook. I should know. I've known plenty of fuckboys in my life, so I know the game, right? I could be a fuckboy if I want to, but I choose not to, right? Because I have standards and I have respect for myself and others. So I'm not going down that path, but I'm aware of that path. But that's why it's so ironic that when I point out, hey, that's the wrong guy, don't listen to him, right? Now, fortunate, there are some ladies who see through his bullshit and see that he is a fuckboy, he is that guy to avoid, he is lying, he's a panda bear and all that stuff. So it's good to know there's some smart women out there that can see through his bullshit. But it's so unfortunate I can confirm these ladies that were arguing with me definitely were not women, they were female, because they truly fell for his thing. I asked two of them specifically, it's like, answer me this, do you think he's a man? Well, I didn't get no response. I didn't get no response. That's interesting. Why didn't I get a response? Is it because deep down, after the conversation having with me, you realize, yeah, I'm right, he's wrong, he's a fuckboy, I'm not, and your argument falls apart. So you already got what you wanted, which was my attention, and now you're moving on. Ironically, most of them followed me or I follow them and they just, follow back. And it's like, it's kind of ironic considering the fact you were disagreeing with me, you still want to follow me. So, just some basic understanding of the situation you're in life. These ladies are funny, but that's what I say, man. It's like, love the ladies, and even if they crazy sometimes. That's the thing. A lot of stuff they do is emotion based, so can't fault them for sometimes being emotional. And sometimes they need. That's the other thing from my experience is that they need someone to talk to, right? Part of being a ladies' man is listening to what they have to say. Sometimes they just want to vent. They want to complain about something. Unfortunately, they do direct some of that negativity towards you, which is why I end up in situations where I might point out, the difference between a good guy, right, a good man, and a shitty guy, and then suddenly the chick will come at me and try to label me the shitty guy. Try to be like, I'm the guy that cheats. I'm the guy that lies. I'm the guy that's not loyal and blah, 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 blah. It's like, what? I'm not that guy. I'm the good guy. I'm not the shitty guy that I'm talking about, right? That right there proves my point. You don't even know what a good guy is, even when you're talking to one. Because you immediately label me as one of these assholes, right? These shitty guys, and then just start telling me all these negative things about those types of guys. To me, it's like, but I'm not that guy. So it's always unfortunate that the good guys, right, the guys who are decent human beings, they get told all these complaints, all these issues about the shitty guys. The shitty guys are out here doing whatever they want, right, not giving a fuck. But all these ladies, they'll talk to a guy like me and talk down to me like if I'm that guy. And this is what most females, specifically females, do, right? Not women. They specifically will treat the new guy they're dating or the next guy they're talking to, just even a random conversation on the internet, and just treat him like her ex, like the last guy she was with, or the last guy she talked to. Because one time some chick told me that, she apologized because she was like, I've been talking with a lot of guys on the internet, and they always be, saying certain things to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I get it. You talk to some assholes. I get it. But that's not me. The problem is you came at me as if I was those guys. You didn't ask me questions. You didn't try to get to know me. You immediately assumed something about me based off of your experience with other guys. That's wrong. I do my best to judge every lady individually. That's why I assume, first and foremost, that if a chick is talking to me, sends me a message, replies to me, sends me a comment on the internet, that she's coming in good faith, right? That, she's just telling me what's on her mind, and then I go from there. But as soon as she starts insulting me, it's like, okay, I guess I know what type of lady you are. You're female, because you're coming at me with emotions. You clearly, who hurt you, right? You're coming at me with hurt and complaints. Like I'm the complaint department, right? Coming to me complaining about guys that I have nothing to do with, because I'm not one of those guys. I don't hang out with those types of guys, right? I don't get along with those types of guys. So, I get along with people, but still, I avoid those types of guys, right? Because I don't want to be associated with them, and I want people to think that I'm the same as them, right? The people I associate with are like-minded. They're a lot like me, so I make sure that the people I associate with are respectable, so that way, by default, I should be respectable, right? I shouldn't be labeled with pieces of shit. Because I agree, there are shitty guys out there, just like there's shitty chicks out there. The idea is to learn how to divide them, to separate them, to know when you're talking to a shitty chick or when you're talking to a woman. Most women, even if they've been done wrong and, they're being emotional, which even, a woman would be emotional. Sometimes just a good, normal conversation can correct that. And a lot of times a chick that comes off like a female to me, right? Well, eventually, start having accountability and stuff like that. It's like, okay, you were in your feelings, so that's why you were coming off very female instead of ladylike or woman, right? So it's like, okay, now you're taking accountability, you're self-reflecting, you're understanding that you came at me wrong, there was no reason for it, I didn't do anything or say anything, you were doing a lot of assuming, you were all in your feels, so now you calm down and now you're being logical and you're, listening to what I'm saying and not feeling what I'm saying. You're listening to what I'm saying and comprehending, understanding what I'm saying, and now we can communicate and get along. And that's what's tends to happen sometimes. So there's times I call it converting. There'll be times where I convert a chick who's really, really in her feelings, and get her into some more logic and more reasoning, and we can have a more adult conversation, which ironically does turn into a more adult conversation, if you know what I mean, sometimes. Well, I think technically all the time, but that's besides the point. But some, I'll say like maybe 4 or 5 now, maybe up to 6 now. Well, it was hard to convert because they were so in their feelings, and they were so animate about the path they chose in their life, and it's like, okay, well, you're a female and that's the path you choose, and more power to you, and good luck, and they're gone, right? But most chicks are willing to hear what I have to say, willing to better themselves. A lot of times they just want to be heard, especially good quality chicks, because there's some good women out there that have been done dirty, right? They made, even women ain't perfect, even they mess up and deal with a fuckboy, and then they learn from that mistake. The thing is, they learn from it faster, so they know what they don't like and what's wrong, and they deserve better, blah blah blah. But sometimes they'll make the mistake and assume that most guys are fuckboys, right? Pieces of shit, and then I get hit by the crossfire, right? Friendly fire, where I get blamed for being a fuckboy. It's like, that's not me. You're talking about some other type of guy, and that's not me. So stop coming at me like if that's me, like if I fit that description. It's like I'm not a fuckboy. I'm not a piece of shit. I'm a decent human being. All right, yes, I am a ladies' man, but that's because I'm chicks, ladies like me, right? That's a good thing. They want a good man. Well, here I am. So you can't expect a good man not to be popular with the ladies. Especially when chicks are out here saying, where all the good men at? Where all the good men at? Right? Some of us are entertaining and interacting with ladies who want a good man. And that tends to happen. But this belief that, if a guy is popular with the ladies, he must be a fuckboy. He must be a piece of shit. It's like, no. There's the extreme on both sides. There's the fuckboy, right? And then there's me, the ladies' man, right? We will look the same, as in we're popular with the ladies. We have ladies around us. But the difference is respect factors. I respect myself. I respect the ladies. Fuckboys tend to not respect themselves or the ladies. That's why they end up in fucked up situations and end up in regretting some of their decisions, especially if they get a chick pregnant, which tends to happen with fuckboys more often than a ladies' man, because we're smarter. We actually use condoms, unlike most fuckboys. We're selective. We don't just have sex with just any chick. That's the thing. We have standards. That's the difference between a ladies' man and a fuckboy, is that we have standards. We go through a vetting process. We make sure that if we go the distance, it's meaningful. See, we consider when we have sex, love, or making love. A fuckboy, it's just fucking. It's just busting a nut. Right? At least we try to make the chick feel good. We take good care of them. Right? We care about their feelings and whatnot. So these are some of the differences between a ladies' man and a fuckboy. That's the thing. It's like nothing wrong with a guy liking multiple chicks, and nothing wrong with multiple chicks liking one guy. It's just depends on how the guy handles it. If the guy is selfish and treats females as utility, is like, well, you're just here to help me bust a nut, and that's it. That's your only use. Then well, that happens, right? So choose your path, boys. Choose which one you want to be, fuckboy or ladies man.